Hello traders, it's another trading week and I want to welcome you once again to Forex Weekly Outlook. Now this week I'm going to be showing you different currency pairs, that will be moving for the week and the direction which they will be going. Now I have a very good announcement. I'm so excited about this. The analysis I brought out, I recorded the video last week, towards the end of the week, that analysis, the total number of pips that were generated from those instruments analyzed amounted to over 1,000 pips. I tell you, I'm so excited about that. So if you want to watch the review, video that shows, those instruments that moved and the direction they moved in line with the previous analysis, just click the link, below this video and you will watch the review of the last week analysis. It's such an exciting thing when you give an analysis about currency pairs and they move in line, with the analysis. Yes, it's really not all the instruments that, reacted the way, I gave the forecast. Some didn't trigger at all, as in price never got to the level where they could have triggered. But then it happens, we don't control the market. But I'm excited about the ones that went in line of the analysis. So just click the link below this video to just watch the review of the last week analysis. And if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so. Click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, drop a comment, share this video, and enjoy it as a trader. All right, so I'm about to start the analysis for this week. And to get started, I want to give a disclaimer. This is, an educational program. I'm just giving you education on how to trade Forex. It's not an investment advice. So please, let's take note of that. That's just a disclaimer. All right, so let's go ahead for this week's analysis. So the first instrument I'll be looking at this week is the EURGBP, and that's what I have on my screen right now. So this is EURGBP on the daily time frame, and we can see that price, closed on Friday on a resistance zone. Price closed last week Friday on a resistance zone. Earlier on, we had price break out, below this. Price broke out below this support level, and it has moved over time. And recently, it's kind of touched that level again, and we had a bearish bounce. And currently, price closed on that level again last week, Friday. So this week, technically, we should be looking forward to a reversal in price on this instrument, and that's on the daily time frame. So I'm going to zoom down to the 4-hour time frame. Now, what we're doing is called a top-down analysis, or otherwise called multi-time frame analysis, that is looking at different time frames to identify trends, the bigger time frame for trends and the smaller time frame to look for entry. So I've seen that on the daily time frame, there's a possibility of a bearish reversal on EURGBP. Then I flip down to 4-hour, and the 4-hour time frame, I add a doji, a pin bar rather, within that resistance zone. And price trending up here also with this pattern looks a lot like a shooting star. And the shooting star is a bearish reversal pattern. We still have this inner resistance here. So technically, we have a possibility of a bearish movement on the daily time frame and also on the 4-hour time frame. So finally, I'll zoom down to the 1-hour time frame. And on the 1-hour time frame, what I'm basically looking out for is entry in the bearish direction, for this currency pair. So I'll draw my trend line both above and below, and that, gives me a valid rising wedge. My rising wedge pattern, is a bearish reversal pattern. So everything is set, this week to look out for a bearish trade on EURGBP. And from my outlook, what I perceive will happen, to this instrument this week is that price, when price opens, and right now it's just about 3:16 a.m. Sunday morning, by Monday morning when this market will open, or later tonight, later tonight Sunday when the market opens, we see the market begin to move on this instrument. So what I perceive will happen is that price could actually go up to make a double top, and then drop down. That's, a scenario that will happen, or otherwise price, could just drop outrightly anyhow. Well, basically all I'm expecting is a bearish breakout, on this instrument. And looking at possible entry points and even possible take profit level, I'll use my Fibonacci, to get that. So if price breaks out, let's assume the possibility of a neckline, a double top and a breakout, then we'll have a neckline right here. So anytime price breaks out below that neckline and the trend line, it will be an opportunity to trigger a sell, for this instrument. And you can target the Fibonacci levels as the take profit level. There's Fibonacci 38.250 and 61. And you can target all of them with different take profit levels, or just target just one out of it, probably Fibonacci 61.8, and that would just be fine. So I am bearish biased on EURGBP for this week. All right, the next instrument I want to look at is the Euro AUD. Now it looks like the Euro pairs are really going weak this week. Last week, it was the AUD pairs that were weak. So it looks like this week, we're seeing weakness across the Euro pairs. All right, so Euro AUD also, I perceive this instrument will go bearish this week. And this is Euro AUD on the daily time frame. And we can see price hitting a resistance zone. Last week, Friday candle closed, within just by the tip of this resistance zone. And that means we're looking also for a bearish movement on this instrument this week. And I'll flip down to 4 hour again. And on the 4 hour, I discovered that the last two candles I closed last week, this is a very sharp doji up there. And doji is an indecision candle. If you find it in an uptrend, it signifies a bearish reversal. And that's what we're seeing here. A doji at a resistance level, a resistance zone, means technically we're looking for a bearish, movement. So if you flip down to 1 hour, on the 1 hour time frame, just like the EURGBP, I can also easily draw a trend line right here and a second trend line at the back, and this equally becomes a rising wedge, which is a bearish reversal pattern. So I'm looking for a breakout of price, below the trend line. And also at that point, I'm also looking out for my RSI to be clearly below 50. And that also applies to the EURGBP trade. RSI below 50 is also a confirmation, for entry. So projected profit level for this, also using my Fibonacci tool. Now, this one, we don't know how it's going to work. Either this ends up with, it's a possibility, we could end up with a head and shoulder pattern, where this can be a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a drop. That's the possibility. Or price could just break out outrightly. Those are the two possibilities. Whichever one happens, the most important thing is that once we have a clear candle, break out of the trend line and the RSI is below 50, it will be an opportunity to trigger a sell. And peradventure, you want to use a pending order for this, you can do that. All you need to do is to put your sell stop order, below the Fibonacci 23.6, just some pips below it, like around 5 pips below the Fibonacci 23.6, to be an indication that you want to trigger a sell stop order. That's excellent. That's around 1.67346, be your entry point. And you can write the trend down to Fibonacci 61.8, and that will be at about 138 pips. You can set different take profit levels at Fibonacci 38, 50, and 61.8. So generally, I'm equally bearish biased on Euro AUD this week. Yeah, it's a weekly outlook. And the third instrument I would like to look at is the EURCAD. Now, EURCAD equally, we are looking for a bearish movement on this. Now, this is the daily time frame. On the daily time frame for this instrument, I can see that price hit a resistance level. We have a very clear resistance level on the daily time frame, and price ended last week still on that resistance level. We have this candle pattern, on that resistance level. Now, the last candle for last Friday was actually a rejection candle on that resistance level. And that there's equally another confluence that we can add, and that's this trend line, because it still goes down to touch that that rejection candle. It's a downward trend. Everything is giving possibility of a bearish movement on this instrument. That's on the daily time frame. So we are looking for bearish opportunities from the daily time frame. So I'll flip over now to the 4-hour time frame, and this is what I have. You can see the two lines, both the resistance line and the trend line, both touching the 4-hour candle. So this tells us that we should really look for a bearish movement, because finally now we even now have a rising wedge. That's just the icing on the cake that we're looking for a sell on this instrument this week. So this week we're going to be looking out for a bearish breakout on EURCAD, and I can equally use my Fibonacci to look at the profit potential of this instrument. Now, entry can be made once price breaks out below this most recent low here, and with Fibonacci, RSI rather, clearly below 50, and you can target. Now at that point, price really was at 1.47004. Some pips below that should actually be your entry. Some pips below 1.47004, like just say around 5 pips below that can be your entry. Okay. Now this is a swing trade, so it should be traded with a lot of caution. Now the basic idea behind this analysis is that it just gives you an idea of the trend. You can actually make entries based on your own personal strategy. You can even set your take profit and stop loss by your own discretion. The basic general idea here is just giving you the trend that this instruments will have for the week. All right, so I looked at 10 pips below that initial line. That would be at 1.46896, for entry. And with that, we can get price to write down, to the different Fibonacci levels according to your choice. But finally, the last Fibonacci level, which is at 61.8, price is expected to hit that level at about 280 pips. That's quite massive. It's a swing trade, and that is actually very, very possible. All right, the next instrument I want to look at is the USDCAD. The USDCAD. Now, I'll start with the daily time frame. Now, this is USDCAD on the daily time frame, and here I can clearly see. Let's go to the weekly. On the weekly time frame, we actually have a triple top pattern. We have a triple top pattern on the weekly time frame, which is telling us of a possible bearish potential. However, price didn't, price hit that triple top resistance zone in the course of last week, and especially last Friday, price closed on that resistance zone. You can see clearly here, and the candle that closed last week was actually a pin bar right on that resistance zone, and technically that is telling us of a possible bearish reversal in price in the course of this week on this instrument. So if I flip down to my 1-hour time frame, then I'll look for possible entry. Let's look at 4-hour. The pin bar is still really strong, even on the 4-hour time frame. All right, so that's excellent. So we'll go down to 1 hour. So this is what we have on 1 hour. On 1 hour time frame, I can clearly draw my trend line, a second one, and I also have a rising wedge, just like the other pairs I've analyzed so far. It's equally a rising wedge, which is a bearish reversal pattern. Now, another angle I'm looking at is that price may form a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder before finally dropping down into a sell, or price could just drop outrightly. Any of it could happen. but I think I look more towards that head and shoulder, the second shoulder forming and dropping, you know. But ultimately, I'm expecting a bearish breakout of price on this instrument. And the profit potential on this too, you know, now entry is to be made if it forms a head and shoulder pattern. Now this level here becomes automatically the neckline, you know, so that's how price will have to move shoulder, head, second shoulder, and a drop. You get it? All right. So with that, that means entry is to be made some pips below the neckline, some pips, like 5 pips, you know, below the neckline. And that would just be something in that range. So let's use Fibonacci to check it. Okay, that's 4 pips. So just drag it down a little. And another thing you need to notice to confirm with your RSI, that RSI is clearly below 50 by the time you want to make, you know, that entry. That's equally important. So it's either you wait for an outright breakout or you set a sell stop pending order. You know, the choice is yours. That 6 pips is still okay. So we can see that price could move down to Fibonacci 61.8 at about 73 pips. You know, at Fibonacci 38, which could be your TP1, that could be like 20 pips. Fibonacci 50 is around 47 pips, and Fibonacci 61.8 is around 73, 74 pips, thereabout on USDCAD this week. Please take note of this trade. I really look forward to it moving, you know, just in line with the analysis. So next instrument I'll look at is the USDJPY. Now I've been looking for a bearish movement on this instrument for, you know, the last week, the whole of the last week. However, you know, it's one of the trades that did not trigger last week. But then I'm hopeful that it should trigger in the course of this week. So this is a USDJPY on the daily time frame. You can see price has been trending up for quite some months now, you know, and price closed last Friday very close to the tip of this resistance level on the daily time frame. So, you know, if price hits a resistance, we expect, you know, price to bounce downwards because a resistance level is actually a seller's zone. But then price is yet to touch the tip of this specific resistance this time. It's very close to it. So what I expect to happen, all things being equal, the possibility I see around this instrument is that I see price. Let's go back to that daily. Okay, this is 4 hours, so this should be a little bit up. Yeah, a little bit. Yes. Okay. So back to 1 hour. So my view of this instrument, I can draw a trend line right here, and I can draw equally a second trend line at the back. So this is equally a rising wedge, which is a bearish reversal pattern. So I expect price to go up and it hits this trend line, sorry, this resistance level, and from there drop down. So I equally hold a bearish view on USDJPY this week. And looking at the entry and profit potential, entry can be made just now we don't know how this is not giving us any specific pattern. So wherever price breaks out of the trend line can be, you know, your entry. Once price breaks out below the trend line and RSI is clearly below 50, you know, you can manually take an entry, or better still, if you want to use Fibonacci, you can use some pips below Fibonacci 23.6, like 5 pips below Fibonacci 23.6 can be used as the entry. And I think we got that. We got that right there. All right. So entry can be made on 151.030. And you can ride the trend, you know, set of TP1 to Fibonacci 38.2, TP2 to Fibonacci 59, sorry, Fibonacci 50. That's at about 59 pips, and TP3 at Fibonacci 61.8 at about 91 pips. So the choice is yours, either a single trade or just run through all 3 trades, puts in the take, you know, profit level. So I'm bearish biased on USDJPY. And next, I want to look at gold. Now, we need to note that gold is actually, you know, a sensitive instrument to trade at this time. largely because of the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. You know, that really is making gold to be more fundamental driven this period. So gold should be traded with a lot of caution. Should be traded with a lot of caution. Now, this is my view on gold. Now, price broke out of a resistance level or a resistance zone sometime, recently, and now price is retracing back to that old resistance zone. So that old resistance zone is becoming a support through which we expect price to go back into the bullish direction. So, and if I look at this on the big picture again, I can see that gold is actually forming a shoulder, a head, and a second, possibly a second shoulder and a bullish breakout. So both ways, I'm looking at a bullish movement on gold. That's the daily time frame. So either an inverse head and shoulder or a resistance turn support and a bullish breakout. Those are the possibilities around gold. So both ways is still looking bullish. So I'll go down to 4 hour, and finally, let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, what I can say around gold is this. I can draw a trend line right here, and also a second trend line. All right, so this gives us a falling wedge this time around. We've been having bearish trades with rising wedge. Now, this is a falling wedge, which is indicative of a possible, bullish breakout. Now, it's possible price within this pattern may form a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder before breaking out. That's a possibility, or price could just break out outrightly. Either ways, all I'm looking out for is a bullish breakout. So if you're trading manually, once price breaks out above the trend line, that is once we have a new candle outside of the trend line. And another reason why I feel this instrument will really go bullish, if you look at the RSI on 1 hour is completely oversold. It's completely oversold on 1 hour. Even on the 4 hour, RSI is equally oversold. It's exactly on 30. So these are indications that we should expect, a bullish movement on this instrument. So back to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour time frame, like I said, I'm seeing a possible inverse head and shoulder pattern, and a breakout or an outright, breakout. And using my Fibonacci also, if you want to set pending orders, you can use Fibonacci, and you drag from the most recent high to the most recent low. And you can make some pips above Fibonacci 23.6, your entry. Now, this is gold, which is very volatile. So I'll be looking at average of about 10 pips above Fibonacci 23.6. Let's even say 15 pips. Gold can be extremely volatile. So we have 15 pips there. So you can set your entry at 1953.02 and targets Fibonacci 61.8, and that's at about 275 pips away. You can set different take profit level. TP1 at 194 pips, and that's at Fibonacci 38.2. TP2 at Fibonacci 50, which is about 186 pips, and TP3 at Fibonacci 61.8, which is about 270 pips away. Now, I'll go to the next instrument. So I'm bullish biased on that gold. So next, I'll look at GBPCAD. Now, USDCAD is one of the instruments I analyzed last week, which did not trigger in the course of the week. So I'm quite hopeful that, we'll have this instrument trigger this new week. And the analysis is still the same. Price broke a support level, and that support turned to resistance, and we expect a bearish, movement or a bearish continuation on GBPCAD. Now, the candle that closed last week was a full bearish candle. Now, there are two possibilities I'm seeing around this. So let's flip down to 4 hour time frame. Okay, this is what we have on the 4 hour. So we have a rising wedge again, and I'm seeing a possible shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a bearish breakout, so I'm saying that our price could just outrightly break out in the bearish direction. But either ways, I'm bearish biased on a GBPCAD this week. And also we can use Fibonacci, to look at possible entry points, and take profit levels. So using Fibonacci, now if it turns out to be a head and shoulder, head, second shoulder, and a drop, then your entry will be, I think just for convenience, it's just advisable to use some pips below Fibonacci 23.6, either for pending order or even if you want to use manual entry. That is just very safe for this instrument. So looking at GBPCAD has a wide spread, so we'll be looking at about 7, let's even say 10 pips, from that Fibonacci 23.6. I think that will be safe. So entry can be made just right here. I think that's even 14. I think that should be fine. 1.6819, and you can target 3 take profit levels, depending on your trading style. That's Fibonacci 38.2 at 79 pips, Fibonacci 50 at about 147 pips, and Fibonacci 61.8 at 222 pips. So I'm bearish biased on GBPCAD. Then I'll look at GBPCHF, and I am excited about this particular instrument. Now, I'll just analyze that in a minute. So let me remove all the lines, okay? So now this is GBPCHF on the daily time frame. And we can clearly see that this instrument has been trending, downwards. It's in a clear downtrend. Now, it's of note that price hit this candle last week. It was a doji, and we already saw some bearish movements, and it's already moving in the bearish direction. So all we'll be looking out for now is a possible entry on the 4-hour time frame. And on the 4-hour time frame, we have a clear shoulder, head, second shoulder, and a drop. That's the head and shoulder pattern is already formed. And not only already formed, price already broke the neckline. Price broke the neckline clearly here. So we are in a clear downward trend, clear trade, bearish trade on GBPCHF. So price already broke. We already have a new candle, below the neckline. So it's a clear sell on this instrument. So if you want to make entry on this, I will just advise you put a sell stop pending order just below the tip of the most recent low, below this candle. So your entry can be at 1.10034, and take profit on pending, or on head and shoulder pattern. If we want to use Fibonacci, I think we will not be doing justice to the number of pips. I think we'll just use the traditional method of setting take profit for head and shoulder, dragging from the neckline up, that's 156 pips. And down here, 154, just roughly, we can set our take profit at this, level. All right, so that should be our take profit level for GBPCHF. Now you can just use discretion. You want to put, you can calculate equal numbers to put other take profit within that level. So basically, I'm looking for about 156 pips. Okay, 158 pips on GBPCHF. It's a swing trade, so it's expected to last, the whole of the week or possibly beyond that. But then that's the target for GBPCHF. And finally, I'll be looking at a New Zealand JPY. All right. So this is New Zealand JPY on the daily time frame. And we can see that price hit a resistance level. That should be last week, Thursday. This is a resistance level. And this, is a pin bar hitting that level. Now, technically, we're expecting a sell. We're expecting a sell, on this. We're expecting a bearish movement, However, I'm looking also at the possibility of having a double top and a bearish breakout. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. That's the pattern I'm seeing possibly forming. So I'll go down to 4-hour time frame, and we still have price in this format. So like I said, a double top. Okay, did I say double top? No, that will actually be a head and shoulder, not a double top, pardon me. So a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a drop. So that's what I'm looking at, for New Zealand JPY. Now, if it plays out just like that, then this level here, will be the neckline. So using the Fibonacci, let's look at that, if that can be used this time. Okay, we have an appreciable movement here using Fibonacci. So using Fibonacci, we can actually target our take profit. Now, entry for this should be made at the tip of the neckline, just right here. So I'll remove the neckline. So entry can be made on this price, 88.921. That can be the entry, and you can target Fibonacci 38.2 at about 25 pips, Fibonacci 50 at about 61 pips, and Fibonacci 61.8. That's about 99 pips. So the choice is just how you want to set your take profit. This is just a guide, on what you can do. All right, that'll be all for the analysis this week. So I've analyzed, okay, pardon me, I have a last instrument I want to look at, and that's NAS100. Yeah, NAS100. All right, so this is NAS100 on the daily time frame, okay? And this is for those who trade indices. Price hits a resistance and level on Friday. All right, so now I actually believe this instrument, let's go to the weekly for this so that we can get a clearer picture. Okay, it's still a valid resistance. So technically, we should be looking for, a bearish movement on this for this week. However, this instrument, I would suggest it's traded with a lot of caution. If you go down to the 4-hour time frame, now technically what I see happening around here is the formation of a possible shoulder, head, a second shoulder, and a drop. That's what I'm seeing technically should happen if this is going to sell. But that is an instrument that is quite volatile. So caution should be traded, should be used rather while trading this instrument. So I'd rather go down to the 15 minutes time frame, and I'm looking at the possibility of, possibly a double top, coming down. So that's what I'm looking at for this. And if I use my Fibonacci, entry can be made just below Fibonacci 23.6, just right where I put that neckline. That's in the tip of the neckline rather, and you can look at the different Fibonacci levels, as the take profit level. All right, that'll be all for my analysis this week. I hope you enjoyed this. Just like I said, this is expected to be used as a guide, So if you're a day trader, you're a swing trader, you can utilize this to know the trend on which you take your trades in the course of the week. So if EURGBP is selling, then just take, bearish trades for the week. That is just the basic idea behind this. All right, I'll stop here for now, and I'll have to come back towards the end of the week with the video on the review of this analysis. So take care and have a great trading week. And please, before I go, don't forget to click the subscribe button so that you can get, more videos from me as I drop them, and also click the notification bell. Drop your comments on this video. Do you agree with the analysis, or you have a question concerning the analysis? Feel free to type it in the comment section. Also share this video so that more people can see it. All right, take care and have a great week. Bye.